Hello and welcome to Startline, brought to you by the Manx Motorcycle Club. I'm Beth Espy and this podcast is about everything road racing, both on the Isle of Man and further afield. From the races and the teams to the organisers and officials, it is all here on Startline. Well, welcome to this episode of Startline. Thank you so much for listening. And today we are once again talking the Blackford Financial Services Pre-TT Classic Road Races happening this year down on the Billown Course, May the 22nd until the 24th. If you've never been, honestly, if you're able to, go. I have never seen anything like that mass start before, and it's just brilliant. The organisation of the event as well is just incredible because it runs like clockwork. The team down there are just fabulous. So yeah, if you have the chance to go, absolutely do. We're going to hear now from some of the people taking part in the pre-TT then. A couple of newcomers, first of all. Liam Wood and Ben Granger are both doing it for the first time. We're also going to hear from Adam Randalls and Wayne Avis, who have done the pre-TT before. And I spoke to them when I was up at Derby for the Andreas Racing Association race meeting at the weekend.
Liam Wood, 25 from the Isle of Man, and I'm trying to be a road racer, I guess.
I think you are a road racer though, aren't you now? Because you did your first road race a couple of weeks ago. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we went away to Cookstown, Northern Ireland, and it was great fun. It's something very, very different to what I've been used to, which is obviously short circuits. And it was a real eye-opener, to be honest.
I mean, you're from the Isle of Man, so, you know, the home of motorcycle racing in so many ways. Was it always something that you wanted to do?
Yeah, I mean, obviously growing up here, you're going to see obviously a lot of motorsport in regards to the TT, the Manx, etc. But I come from a family as well of both my granddad and my father. They both had TT wins, both sidecars. So it's something that I've always wanted to do, albeit on two wheels instead of three at the minute. But
you have done some sidecar as well.
Yeah, we've been on this year with Dave Quirk, and thanks to him for obviously letting me on. Whether he's realises what he's got himself into, I don't know, but it's good. I was on with Stu Bainborough as well last year, and that was great. You know, getting some real good pace on, and I just love it. I think just the sidecars themselves, there's just something about them when you see them go round or you hear them, etc. It's totally different to anything you can experience elsewhere, and getting on one, having the chance to get on one first, and then to actually be, winning races on them as the passengers is good fun.
And just how different is it then? I mean, obviously, we're going to talk more about your solo riding in just a moment, but obviously it is a completely different discipline, and certainly as a passenger, you've got a completely different job. So how do you find sort of going between the two?
Yeah, it's totally different in regards to, I mean, the main one that stood out to me is physicality. You can ride the bike round and round at good pace, and you've got to keep yourself fit for it, but hopping on the sidecar is a totally different ball game. It really does take it out. It's a fair play to everybody who's going around the TT and doing it for as long as they do, because it is physical. In regards to sort of differences, I'd say I still feel like when I'm out there, I'm just out on track, and that's great. But I'm not having to think about quite as much. I'm not controlling the brakes or the throttle or anything like that. I'm just sort of throwing myself around and having a bit of fun, I guess. But it's different. You're working with somebody. You've got to really be sort of in tune with what they're doing, and that's you don't normally get that when you're on the two wheels. I mean, you do sort of when you are actually racing, because you've got to know what the person next to you, or you've got to have a good idea what the person next to you is like riding. Is he a bit aggressive? Is he a bit laid back? When can you make your move, etc.? And I suppose it's kind of similar in that sense, that you are going to be sort of, with your driver sort of gelling and trying to get that bond, which me and Dave Quirk at the minute just seem to have. I know what he's doing. I know when he's pushing on a little bit harder, and I need to be a little bit sharper and make sure I'm exactly perfect everywhere. And yeah, it's totally different, but it's still putting the helmet on and riding.
And you talk about the sort of physicality of it. I mean, you must get battered and bruised sometimes. And I know lots of people talk about trying to be as relaxed as possible, which to my mind, I'm like, how can you be relaxed when you're clinging on and just thinking, what the hell am I doing?
I think you are right. I mean, the first couple of sessions I ever went out, which was with Jim Gale, I came in and I couldn't open my arms, and I think that is just, respective of the fact that you are gripping on so tight, because you've only got a handle that's, it's a push bike handle realistically in width, etc. But Yeah, I suppose the more comfortable you get with it, and you know sort of when to press yourself, and you start ending up using different parts of your body to sort of move yourself across, and if you time it right, the actual force of the outfit brings you over. You can be, relatively relaxed. I mean, I'm sure there's a few photos out there of me putting my head on the floor, hanging out the side of the outfit, just taking the mick, really. But so you can be relaxed out there, yeah, definitely.
I mean, you can hear the bikes in the background. We're here at Derby for one of the Andrews Racing Association race days, and you've been out there this morning. But to have this facility here and the opportunity to get out, I guess, from your point of view of somebody wanting to progress through the sport is so important.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't really do it from here without Andrews Racing. It's the same circuit that you come to all the time, and it gives you those signatures, and the fact that it can go both directions and you can get signatures for clockwise and anti-clockwise just brings you so far forward, because when you're going away and you're trying to race across, the cost of getting away to those meetings, and you're not guaranteed a signature when you get to clubman licence, and you've got to chase those times and be within a certain percentage. You can find it difficult going away to a new circuit and trying to go straight away at that pace. So Derby's it's there really just to give you that build up and build up and build up, and just it's almost not guaranteed signatures, but once you start to get to the pace where you're taking it seriously, they accommodate for all different classes. You've got the clubman race, which is aimed at those riders that are trying to get to the national level, and that's a fantastic race that you see here, and it definitely helped me a lot. I mean, last year I got the championship in that class, which was fantastic, but that's every race, you're ending up with signatures, and that's brilliant.
What's your ultimate aim, Liam?
The answer to that question, I think everybody knows what I want to do, but it's got to be the mountain course. That is the top of motorsport, really, isn't it, in regards to motorcycle racing? I mean, if I can still do the Irish road races and try and fund the TT and the Manx Grand Prix as well, then that would be amazing. But as far as I'm concerned, the main goal is just the TT.
And how far away would you say you are from that at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I've got the licences to apply for it, etc. And realistically, I could have applied this year, but I just want to get a couple of years under my belt at just these Irish road races, and just try and bring myself forward onto them, so that when I'm coming into the Manx, I'm comfortable with the roads. It's not going to be so much of a shock to me, and I feel like, I mean, especially just from doing Cookstown, the experience and the things that I've learned. I've jumped bikes before, but jumping a big bike is a totally different thing. And now, to me, you go at Cookstown and you think, oh, that wasn't that bad, and you look at the photo and you go, oh, maybe it was that bad, but it's. I just want to get a lot of time under my belt on these tight, twisty, narrow Irish back lanes, and just see how that progresses me forward, while still trying to do as many of these as we can at the short circuits.
And as you mentioned, your first Cookstown didn't go too badly, actually?
No, we came away with second place in the race that I was in, which, to be fair, I wasn't expecting. We qualified 7th on the grid, and I just got an amazing launch and found myself up into 4th straight off, and I thought, well, we could get a podium here. And then I got more comfortable, because you don't get many laps there. You only get 5 laps on the newcomers and 5 laps in the qualifying, so it's not a lot of time really to be learning a circuit like that. Well, road, not circuit. And I just think as the confidence was building through the race, all of a sudden I started to go from 3rd to 2nd to 1st on the road, and to be honest, I thought I'd won it. It was a person from the second wave who beat me on corrected time, so I crossed the line thinking I'd won the first road race I'd ever done, and to get pulled in and get 2 fingers to you saying you're on 2nd on the grid, it was, oh. But we'll take that. 2nd in the first road race is something that I think, to me, is definitely special. It's a lot more than I was expecting to come away from, because I had no intentions of being anywhere near a podium there, but it just worked, and the bike was great, and thanks to Andrew Martin, who came away with me for that full week, taking that off work and setting it up, and all the preparation that we did, I think really just helped. The laps in the van, and about the £400 fuel bill and diesel for his van, but it all makes a difference, and I think that was the main thing.
Oh, that's phenomenal, and I think just seeing your progression must just make you feel like you're on the right path. And we're talking now not that long away from pre-TT, which is where you're going to be a newcomer as well. First time down on the Billown circuit, but I suppose people would say, being from over here, you've got a little bit of an advantage in knowing it, and it's not as much to learn. No,
I'd say I'm not going to get lost, but I think that's realistically about as far as it goes. You can watch onboards, and it gives you a good idea where your lines are, and you can walk the track, and well, maybe not walk the whole track.
Have you walked it? That's very impressive.
I was stopping off at corners and looking and getting in the car, etc. But I don't think I'm going to get lost around there. But it's totally different when you're at speed, and it's something that I need to just take in, do all my homework that I can do, and then realistically the most time I'm going to learn is in those newcomers laps, and just feel what the bike's doing underneath me, feel any bumps that you may have missed walking around, and that's all you can do really, isn't it? Just go around and have fun and just see where we end up.
What are you going to be riding?
I'm on a ZXR 400. I was meant to be testing that yesterday. Unfortunately, had some issues with that, which is no fault of anybody's. It's classic bikes, but so unfortunately we haven't had any seat time on that before the pre, which I would have liked to have had. It's definitely going to be putting me not at a disadvantage, but it's a bit more sort of on my shoulders to be thinking, because now I've got to learn, okay, the bike's doing this, but is the bike supposed to do that? Okay, this bump's affecting the bike this way, but is that because it's got the right setup? And it's something that, I'm just going to have to really just take me time, learn, especially in those newcomer laps, take everything in that I can, make some setting adjustments maybe, and just go out and qualify and see how it all reacts and if it works.
Who is going to be fixing the bike then?
So I've got a very good team behind me who are always here to help. They're up here with me today racing, and so that's my great uncle Neil Woods. He's very kindly given me the bike, and then I've got Neil Burnett and Tom Burnett. I've got Chris Parker as well, and they're all going to be coming down. And my girlfriend can't miss her; she'll be down whether she likes it or not. We've got a good couple of people there who really can just sort of help me out and just guide me through. And I've obviously got Tom there that's in the paddock. He's raced the pre-TT multiple times, so it's just that guidance and that knowing that all I've got to do realistically is get on the bike. I know that the bike's going to be okay, and just go out and have fun, and that's all you can do, isn't it?
And you just describe everything that you've been doing race-wise and all the preparation and everything, but there is real life that goes alongside that. How are you finding juggling the two, and having a little bit of a social life, and maybe having the odd night out with your girlfriend as well?
Yeah, it's tough. It's always been tough, to be fair. It's got a little bit easier sort of the older that I've got, because obviously you progress in your job, you end up with a bit more money in the bank, and it was always tough, especially first starting out, because you ended up working 7 days a week and evenings and everything, and you're missing holidays, and everyone's going away to sunny places with all your friends, and you've just got to stay and work just so you could ride the bike. And that was only enough money just to ride, not be competitive. And I think a sort of my determination and everything, and it just sort of showed, and I managed to get a few sponsors come up and really, really help me out, and that makes all the difference. I mean, realistically, I couldn't be doing it without sponsorship, or, well, I mean, I could, but I'm not at this level, not doing what I'd want to be doing. And I think that's the main thing. And as far as it goes for social life, I still like to get out and have fun, and you go for a beer every now and then on a Saturday night when you can. And it's that balance that I've got now, sort of in terms of I can race, I can still go out, see my mates. I can obviously go out with my girlfriend. We can have nice meals, etc., and live relatively normally. I'm still working more than I would like to be, but it's it's nice to have that balance now that you've got sort of help and sponsorship, and that pressure of, if I bend that, that's me out for the entire year, and it's nice to have that pressure off and get a bit of life back. But it still takes everything.
What is the day job?
I'm an electrician. I work for a company called Arturn Electrical in Robbie Turner. He also very kindly sponsors me, and he's very sort of forgiving in the fact that when I come in and I've gone, I've got a bust ankle, and I can't, I still come to work, don't get me wrong, but he's very sort of forgiving in that sense of, he used to race, he understands the script, and as long as I show up, I get put on some easy duties for a few days, so that's good.
That is so important, isn't it? And having that local support, particularly being from the Isle of Man, as I say, there must be nothing like that, knowing you've got those people around you who just want to see you doing well.
Yeah, I mean, my sponsorship's mainly, you look at the front of the bike and it's a couple of pubs that really tells you sort of how the life goes through winter when I'm not riding the bike. But, I've got Mark and Anya at the Ginger Hall. They've been great to me for a good couple of years now. And again, without them, they've made such an impact on me and my racing that you would almost struggle to not have that. Gary Moore from the Queen's Hotel in Laxey, he's very kindly offered to jump on board last season. He's been brilliant. Robbie the boss, he's looked after me for years, and that goes as well as it goes. And I've got other sponsors like Ruth Coyle Physiotherapy. So she was helping me out when I had an injury, and she's took me on board, and it's stuff like, so she gives me free physiotherapy as thing. And even though, it's not an exchange of money to go towards a race, and it's something that's there when you need it. So Tony Bullock, he's my boxing coach, which is where I go training. It's help with him and the sessions and one-to-ones and everything like that, and reduced costs just to help you through. And it all really makes a difference, because this is all stuff that I do need for the racing. And Gary Partridge at Happy Dog Image Solutions, I'm sure you know him. He helps me massively out with the embroidery, the stickers, all the teamwear, etc. Stuff that does cost money. And if it's not costing me money, it's saving me money. And without all that sort of help and support, you can't do it. You can't.
I always find it fascinating, this whole world that goes on in a motorcycle racer's life, that actually, we just come up here and watch the race and think, oh, that's nice. But you're living and breathing it.
Yeah, it is your whole life. And I'm sure there's a few people who don't quite like that it takes up everything. And sorry, Ellie. But it's, it really does take over your life, especially in summer. It's every weekend you're either on the bike, or you're fixing the bike, you're in the workshop late, or you're working to get money for the bike, and it really is, everything is just bikes. And I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest. It's I don't really know what else I'd do without the bikes. So,
well, I mean, you said you grew up, obviously your granddad, your dad involved as well. What would you say is the best piece of advice you've been given so far?
Stay calm. It'll come. That's and you can say that to anybody who's just starting out. Don't push on too hard. Try and gain all these things. And I learned firsthand exactly that, because you're young, you're naive, you get told that, and you go, we'll just go out and we're getting fast lap times here, and I ended up writing a bike off due to that naivety. And you look back at that and you think that is the right advice to take. It's just work into it, and a couple of years will come, and all of a sudden you look back and you go, where did this speed come from? You're doing all right here. And I think it all sort of made sense last year. I've been racing for 5-6 years now, and to get a championship at the end of last season, it really all just brought it all together. And it was a relatively risk-free championship for me. I wasn't taking any chances where I thought you're riding like a bit of an idiot here. It was good, and it's that sort of advice, smooth and fast, and just keep the bike in one piece. And that's the main thing you can do.
Do you know what? It's so exciting to think about you not too far away from now being on the start line on Glen Crutchery Road, but lots of things to do before then. Say pre-TT, probably the next thing, and then after that, how's your summer looking? Yeah,
we're sort of stuck in between deciding whether we go to Kells Road Race in Southern Ireland or Tandragee. I'm sort of leaning more towards Kells Road Race. Tandragee looks fantastic, but I just feel like at the minute it's such a big circuit. It's a lot to learn. It really is sort of the pinnacle of Northern Irish road racing, bar, say the Northwest. And I'd want a lot of time there, and I just can't get that. I can't, take that time off work to go and really study the track and drive around like I did at Cookstown. And I feel like that's something that I'd want to do next year. So I think we'll stick with Kells, which I make it sound like Kells is going to be a ride round the Murrick Park. It's definitely a hard circuit, but for me it's just going to be that nice little jump up from Cookstown, but not too much where I'm going to be sort of impacted in my riding.
Where can people follow you on social media then, Liam, and keep up with how you're doing?
Yes, I've never really been one for sort of having a racing page per se. I just sort of use me normal account, so if anybody goes on that, they just see a big blanket of bikes and race posts, so I probably should get onto a racing page. But no, social media's it's great, and it's nice to post out, and it's good to see, that I've got, I wouldn't say such a following, but, there's people there that support you every time, and you think it. But to be honest, if you do want to keep up to date, it's just my name, Liam Wood, on Facebook and Instagram, and that's pretty much all you get.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us, and we wish you all the very best for pre-TT. We'll see you down there, and see if you can get any other trophies to take home.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for your time, Beth.
I'm Ben Granger, racer from Ramsey.
And your dad was into racing once and is fairly well known around the mountain course?
Yeah, so he raced when I was a kid up at Derby, and he did the Manx Grand Prix around 2003 to 2005, I think it was. And he's now a travelling marshal of the TT and the Manx Grand Prix.
Does he give you lots of advice?
Yeah, I mean, he just sort of keeps your head level a bit, I think. It's nice to be able to have that connection of something like an interest. But yeah, he does give me a lot of good help on the bikes with the mechanics and stuff like that as well.
And has it always been bikes for you? Obviously, sort of growing up with your dad doing that, I guess you sort of were in paddocks like we're here at Derby today, and you see the little kids running around. Was that your life?
So yeah, when I grew up, probably until I was about 10, 11, I was just always going up to Derby in the summer, and whenever there was meets. But myself, I actually did swimming. I was in the GB Para Academy for swimming. And then when I sort of started falling out of love with the sport, I then sort of looked at other things and ended up finding bikes. And I was born with one hand, so I basically didn't think anything like I'd be able to ride a bike or whatever, but we adapted the clutch so that I was able to ride the bike. And then, just sort of found my way up to Derby and going to go and do a bit of road racing, see how it goes up at the pre-TT.
Talk about taking up the two sports that take all your time.
Yeah. I mean, with the swimming, it was like 18 hours a week of swimming when it was like at its most. And then obviously the bikes just never stops. You're always something cropping up, you're working on them, something going wrong with them, spending your time up at the tracks and travelling, and never stops. So
we're talking just ahead of pre-TT, which is not too far away. Have you done any road racing before?
No, this is my first one. So I got my national probably about 2 months ago, or a month ago. Yeah, about a month ago now. So just pre-TT, it's a pretty friendly event. It's quite an approachable one to go for the first one. So go down there and see how it goes.
How are you preparing for it then and learning the course? I mean, obviously being over here, you've got a little bit of an advantage maybe, but...
Yeah, so like after work or on the weekends, you can go down and drive it. There's a lot of onboards nowadays on YouTube, which are really good to watch. It's quite good to be able to watch bikes of a similar speed of what I'm sort of hoping to be around, because I mean anyone could watch the top boys go around, but I'm not going to take it and be going anywhere near their speed, so the lines are slightly different, and breaking points and all that kind of thing. So people like Matty Corkle, he went and did the sub 100 last year on a Steely CBR 600. Watching onboards like that is sort of my target to be hitting anywhere remotely near him. So watch a lot of them videos and try and get down and drive the track as much as I can.
And what are you going to be riding?
So I'm riding a VFR 400 NC30, which is going to be in the, I think it's the lightweight classic class, or the 400 post classic or something like that. VFR 400 NC30.
And have you got a lot of sponsors on board this year?
No, I've got none really. And there's a couple of the odd one or two family friends that have chipped in, give me a little bit of money, but it's all myself really, to be honest. I'm fully self-funded. My mum and dad, they obviously come down to the track. My mum comes down when she can, and my dad comes down, does a bit in the pits, and making teas and coffees if he's not helping me work on the bike. But they're a massive help, my mum and dad.
God, it's so tough, isn't it? And it's not getting any cheaper when you think about things like fuel and whatever, but those conversations and trying to get money from a sponsorship point of view, I know a lot of people don't find it very easy.
No, I mean, vastly it's on your class. Some of the classes can be very expensive, like the big bikes, that you go through so many sets of tyres, and that's really where your expense is, obviously, aside from falling off. But your tyres is a major expense. A set of tyres will set you back £400-500 now. if you're blowing through them, it's expensive. But the lower CC, lower power bikes, you can get away with a lot more miles out of the tyres.
After pre-TT, what's next for you?
I'm just sort of taking it as it goes then and see how a road race goes, because I'll either love it or I'll not really enjoy it. So yeah, I think I'll just take it from there, either go away and maybe have a look at doing something in Ireland, or maybe look at doing next year's pre-TT or 700, or just see what it's about. Go do a couple of UK tracks like whenever I can, usually try and get about 1-2 in a year. But yeah, I've really been racing for 3 years, so yeah, try and just do what I can.
And do you think the mountain course is ever going to be calling?
I'd think about doing like the Manx Grand Prix on the 400s or classic stuff. It's just so expensive. But yeah, I think maybe the Manx Grand Prix would be an idea, but it's not anywhere on the horizon at the moment. Like, it'd be sort of a tick box for myself, just a bucket list, get it done and say you've done it. I'm not a particularly fast rider, so it's just enjoyable.
Well, we wish you all the very best for pre-TT. You've got an expectation of yourself, or is it literally just go, see if you like it? I haven't spoken to many people who've gone with that attitude, by the way, who said no, they didn't. But yeah, any sort of goals in mind?
Just enjoy it, really. I've got no expectation. I've not really got any sort of like times or place or anything in mind. Just go and enjoy it. Enjoy the experience. Something new. So yeah, just see what happens.
And you're going to stay down at the paddock, or are you going home?
Well, I'll be driving home, and then I'll probably stay down on the Sunday night with the whole presentation in the square. So I'll sleep down on Sunday, but I'll be driving probably home every day.
Well, have a brilliant time. Where can people find you on social media and keep up with how you're doing, Ben?
So I've not really got any racing pages, but yeah, just Ben Granger on Instagram and Facebook. Make the odd couple of posts here and there, but yeah, I tend to not really post too much, but yeah, I'll be posting things like the pre-TT.
I'm loving your seat set up here as well, by the way. Lovely.
Yeah, just me dad's back seats out of his transporter van. Set them out in the sun. Can't really beat it out of Cherby. When it's a nice day here, it's great. You sit and sunbathe, but yeah, when it's rough out here, there's no protection.
It really isn't. Brilliant to talk to you, Ben. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I'm Wayne Avis.
And we are just up here at Cherby. I don't think it's too much to say that you've had a pretty good day.
Yeah, definitely. Surprising, in all honesty. Obviously, we've got the sunshine in here today, so that always helps matters. But we've had a good run on both bikes today.
And you're doing pre-TT for
second time. I had a bit of a whoopsie last year in the 400 race, so I'm hoping to come back stronger this year.
But you've just been out on the bike that you're going to ride at pre-TT, is that right?
Yeah, I've just rode it twice today. Came second in the first race and then first in the second race.
And of course, we spoke to you last year before you did the Manx Grand Prix for the first time, and never really sort of caught up with you afterwards. Was it everything you hoped it would be?
Oh, everything and more. Like everyone says, it was what a dream come true that was. But it just keeps you wanting to come back more. That's the thing. So if you look to my right, I don't think she's overly impressed with my decision making. But yeah, looking to get back this year at the Manx and on the Classic as well.
And you know, it is such a family thing, isn't it? And you've got that support around you, and you need that, don't you?
Absolutely, especially like days like today. You can get the kids up there, family. You've got the burger van. What's better? Bikes, sun, and your family. And
do you think the kids are going to follow you in your tyre tracks?
I hope not, because it's very, very expensive. But if they do, we'll support them, whatever it may be.
And we're standing next to a board, actually, the Wayne Avis 20 Club, and a load of names on there. It must be hard to put into words what it means to you to have that support.
Absolutely. It's just a small contribution to get people involved that follow like the Facebook page or the racing page, whatever it may be. Just so they can be a part of it, you know.
And so, right, pre-TT next, and then after that, I mean, is MGP on the cards again this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Pre-TT, 7100, possibly Scarborough for the Cock of the North, and the big one, the Manx.
And I tell you what, you've got a van and a half here. That's amazing.
Ex-steam packet. She's a bit rusty, but
where'd you park that?
She does the job on the drive. Yeah, it blocks the garage after. It's like musical vehicles at our house, honestly.
I'm Adam Randalls.
And Adam, we're up here at Cherby. How's your weekend been?
Mixed. We've come just to do some laps before pre-TT. This is the bike we rode at Cookstown. It's been absolutely faultless until practice, and the front sprocket decided to fall off it. And somebody kindly lent us another sprocket, but the gearing was miles out. We've still come back with a couple of thirds and a second today, so happy enough.
I suppose it must be so difficult, you know, when you're constantly thinking about the next thing you're doing and something goes a little bit awry with the machine, and just thinking the time ticks away, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it's only 2 weeks before we're down Billown and going around there, so it doesn't give you long to get things back right. But luckily, the gearing that they've put on it is what we'd run at pre-TT course, so we just need to give it a wash and ready to go.
So pre-TT then, you've done it, was it 4 years?
Yeah, been there 4 years now.
And how do you find the whole event?
Absolutely one of my favourite events we do. It's such a lovely club, great little track. I'm not fortunate enough to be allowed to ride on the big track, so it's all I get to do over here. But just, I love it. It's brilliant.
Would you want to ride on the big one?
Oh, definitely. I'm too old. I'm Peter Pan, I'm 48. There's a newcomers age limit of 45. I'm 48. The Manx Grand Prix have just introduced a class for this, but you've got to sort of be proven to be able to get into it, so chances are that's not going to happen.
You're going away a lot, though, to do the Irish roads. How are you finding that?
Absolutely amazing. We did Cookstown the other week. Just a brilliant little track, and the people couldn't be any more helpful or any more friendly. It was fantastic.
And I guess the other thing, though, that we always talk about with this sport is just how much it costs, and it's not getting any cheaper.
Definitely not. It helps when we go away to Ireland that there's 2 or 3 of us go together, so we can all split the cost. But even just racing up here is expensive. But if we didn't do this, what would we do?
Have you always done this? Is it bikes always been your thing?
Unfortunately, yeah. I couldn't afford to drink or smoke because I've always raced motorbikes, so...
That's the thing that actually makes me want my children to race bikes, actually, thinking about it. For anybody who's going to be taking on the pre-TT for the first time this year, we've been talking to some of the newcomers. Would you have any good advice for them?
Listen to Chris Palmer. Enjoy it. Don't overthink it. And that's it.
And when you go into an event like that, do you have any expectations of yourself? Do you always have a goal that you want to achieve, or are you a little bit more relaxed in that?
The politically correct answer is no, you don't. But I was running top 5 last year until I had an issue, so yeah, I do.
That's so tough, isn't it? I tell you, that just makes this sport so much more than the physical side and the machine side, that sort of mental resilience that you need when things don't quite go to plan.
Yeah, but it happens. We had a good meeting. We ended up finishing with the top 10. We come back. We had no incidents. At the end of the day, as long as you can go for a beer with your mates afterwards, that's a win, really, isn't it?
Living the dream, and it's sunny as well.
Derby and it's sunny. What's going on?
I know, right? So you're just packing away now. Your van's looking pretty tidy, I have to say. Or is this organised?
No, definitely not. It helps that I've only brought one bike with me today rather than the 2. Otherwise, there's rubbish everywhere.
And just finally, where can people find you on social media to keep up with how you're doing?
APR Racing. I've got a Facebook page on that. If you're not into politically correct race reports, that's the place to go.
Sounds like our sort of thing. And, sponsors and everything. Have you got many people on board this year?
Yeah, I've been really lucky this year. I've had a guy that's helped me out from across quite a few years on the trot now, a lad called Jay King. He's fantastic. And then where I work, GSF always helped me out with a few bits and bobs. And a garage down south called Andy Motors has helped pay for a few bits and bobs and tyres and stuff. So without them, I'd be sat at home on PlayStation thinking about it.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? The people that want to support you and help you do what you want to do, yeah.
No, exactly. I'm not going to return anything to them. I'm just a fat man wobbling around on a motorbike, enjoying myself. And the fact that these people want to help me out is fantastic. I couldn't do it without them.
Is that how every race report starts, yeah?
Usually, yeah.
Brilliant to talk to you, Adam. All the best for the pre-TT.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Adam Randalls, Wayne Avis. Before that, we also heard from Ben Granger and Liam Wood, and you can give them a follow on social media and keep up to date with how they're doing. You're listening to Startline, brought to you by the Manx Motorcycle Club. So we're going to hear from another couple of pre-TT newcomers now. George Anderson was actually at Derby at the weekend, but I didn't get a chance to catch up with him then. We'll hear from him in just a moment. But also Lee Stanaway, who was a Manx Grand Prix newcomer in 2025, loved it so much that he wants to race back here on the Isle of Man, so he will be doing the pre-TT as well.
Lee Stanaway from Stafford. Manx Grand Prix newcomer last year, now a seasoned veteran for this year because I've done it once, and newcomer to the pre-TT this year.
So why did you want to do the pre-TT then, Lee?
I think it's. I think I've started doing it back to front because we did the Manx Grand Prix first, and then going right. Okay, let's go and do some more. But I think because we had such a good time on the roads at the Isle of Man, it's just like, well, we're just going to enter every event we can. So it's sort of a natural progression, but in reverse order. I think it's just one of them. Once you've raced on the Isle of Man, you can't get enough of it.
Wow. And, you know, the Billown Course, as we keep sort of saying to people, obviously a lot shorter, but doesn't make it any easier, I guess, to learn. There are so many twists and turns on there. How are you learning it?
So I listened to Steve's podcast this morning and Liam, and I know Liam quite well actually as well. But no, same as Steve. Playing the game that Ride 4, and as he says, that I don't know who designed the motorcycle game, but motorcycles don't behave like that at all. But playing the game, watching the onboards, you know, reading what material you can find, and just talking to people. That's all you can do, you know. There's, like I said, there's not a lot of stuff out there, but all you can do is watch onboards, play the game, and study as best you can.
Are you any better at the game than Steers?
God, no. Oh, God, no. No, definitely not. It's atrocious. It's like the front and back wheel are connected with a piece of string.
Just remind us about your sort of day-to-day life, what you do job-wise.
So I'm an engineer surveyor. I do all the health and safety inspections on lifting gear. So anything that's compressed air lifts people up and down. So it's sort of like a running joke, the health and safety inspector by day and road racer by the weekend.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a difference there, isn't there? That's maybe the two sides of your personality.
I'd say so. One is one side of it, and the other is the other. But I think, like I've said in previous recordings that we've done, the attention to details really pertinent to both sides of it. So it does go hand in hand a lot better than people might think.
And I know you sort of talked about almost the way your brain works when we spoke to you before your first Manx Grand Prix, and sort of almost that methodical way of thinking and processing things. How did you find that helped you during MGP last year?
Oh, it was brilliant. One thing that I did that I've never done before was like go into a meditative state beforehand. So put some like classic FM or some chill hop on, sit there, like in the middle of Park Fairmay, all the engines going and everything. Everyone just leave me alone, and I'd memorise a lap and go through the whole lap in my head. That was really important to get me up to speed before I got on the bike. You know, just got my brain working and got that going. With how methodical things were before, I have got my own way of doing things, like putting my boots on, putting my gloves on, got to kiss my wife, stroke my dog 3 times and all that sort of stuff. But being methodical in how you approach and how you do the training is important as well. So, you know, I've got a way of like, I'll watch a couple of onboards, not sure, then I'll read about it, then I'll play a game. And sounds like I said before about how I learned the TT course is break it down into your different sectors and find one source of information, learn that. Once you have questions that can't be answered from that source of information, find another one and see if you can answer your own questions yourself, rather than just straight away going and asking for somebody. I think it's best to try and figure it out yourself and then go, if you're still not sure, go and ask people, because people will help you. I think that's the way I tackled it anyway.
And it's really interesting you're talking about getting into the right frame of mind race-wise, because the paddock can be a frantic environment, can't it? Mm-hmm. And some people thrive off that, and other people do need to try and find some way to almost block it out. And it sounds like, that's is that the way that you're approaching most racing now, sort of like having that classic FM? I mean, I can suggest Manx Radio as well. I mean, brilliant. But,
all the radio stations are available. Yeah. When the racing is on, Manx Radio's on quite a bit. But no, it's just classic, like I say, classic FM. You can laugh at me for it, but it just does the job. But what's strange is it's classic FM before I go out, and then it's like drum and bass or metal or whatever when I come back. So it's like the opposite way. I've got to chill out before I go out. So so once I've come back in and I'm listening to once I've been out and I'm listening to heavier music or whatever, it helps me come back down beforehand. All the noise and the bustle and everything. If I've listened to really aggressive music before I go out, with all the hustle and bustle that's going on, it's all just frantic. I can't concentrate and I ride terribly. Or worse than I normally do. But, I ride terribly. So having that get out, that relaxing music, just brings it back down to earth, and just you forget about all the stress, or the edge of the stress is taken off. And it's a bit easier just to focus, because that's what you're doing at the end of the day. You're trying to focus as best you can. It's not about being as aggressive and as hard and as tight on the bars and fighting the thing out and forcing it. Just being relaxed and let it come. And
then did you have a sort of set target for yourself for MGP? And if you did you meet that?
Yeah, so there's a bit of an ongoing joke at the minute. So the first night of practice, I put out went out and did my thing. And my A goal was just to do 100 mile an hour lap. And that's what we wanted. And we achieved that, I think, on the third night. And one of my friends messaged me and said, "Well, I'll buy you a pint for every 100-mile-an-hour lap you do." And we did. I think it was either 9 or 12. It's a bit of an ongoing discussion at the minute, but he's bought me 2 so far. So hopefully when we get to Castletown, you can buy me a few more then after the racing's been done.
9 or 12. I love that. Not 9 or 10, 9 or 12.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I can't remember if it was 9 or 12. But he keeps telling me it's 9. I keep saying it's 12.
Well, no, it's important, isn't it? It's important to get it right. Just thinking about anybody, Lee, who's doing the MGP for the first time themselves this year, what would you say was the most surprising aspect of that meeting for you? Maybe something that you didn't necessarily expect.
How relaxing it was. Like when you get on the bike and like the first lap is just phenomenal and you barely remember it, like the first lap you do on your own. But it's how relaxing it is. Like you're in the right headspace when you're chilled out with it, and that's a big thing. If you go out and you're trying to rip the handlebars off the bike and trying to push everything and you're stressed out and wound up, you've got to park the bike and just go, not today, we've got tomorrow. When you're doing 140 mile an hour through Kirk Michael and you're just there chilling out and it just feels brilliant. Like it's how relaxing it is. It's not a stress. It should never be a stress if it's stressful. Obviously you get wound up because all the time and effort and the work you're putting in to make this thing happen, you've only got an hour to get it done in. But if like I say, if it feels right, it is right, and that's the thing. It's just so relaxing, and it is surprising once you get your head around it. Just how relaxed you feel on the bike. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I think I'd probably still go for a massage. I'm going to be honest, Lee. It's not my idea of relaxation, but hey, I'll take your word for it. Are you coming back this year to MGP?
Well, yeah. So we're coming back. We're not coming back on an SV650. It was pretty evident, like, I still had a lot to learn after my first year and first couple of laps, but it was pretty evident after the third night it wasn't going to cut the mustard. So Robbie Sylvester's been in touch with me from VRS Racing, and I'm riding his Kawasaki Z650 this year. Hoping to look a little bit faster, but I'm not saying what we're looking for. Just like, nice, safe, comfortable, come back and just start pushing on a little bit. We're also coming back for the Classic TT on a CB350 K4 that's been gifted to me by Kevin Flynn for the pre-TT and the Classic TT. So I'm bringing both of those 2 bikes over. And we've finally got to the point now we've got motorbikes in the house because there's no room left in the garage. Emma's not best pleased.
Whereabouts are they, Lee?
There's one in the conservatory and one in the kitchen at the minute.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
How are you going to fix that? I mean, just on Gemma's behalf here, we need to, there's got to be an end point, surely.
Yeah, so the bargaining chip's a safari at the moment, but I don't know how that's going to happen. I was going, yeah, it'll happen. It'll be West Midlands Safari Park. Yeah, that's what it'll be.
That's all she wants. Okay, absolutely fine. And just interesting to talk about riding with Robbie Sylvester and having his experience, both, on the track, but also looking after so many riders as well, I guess will be invaluable.
Yeah, 100%. It's not just a machine he puts together, because I rode the Kawasaki at Mallory Park a couple of weeks ago. We did a test day and then we went racing. Went just as well on that bike as I did do on my SV that I've been racing for 10 years. But his wealth of knowledge and experience is invaluable. Like I say, it's not just a machine he puts together. If that man doesn't know it, it's not worth knowing. And he can't do enough for you. It's like you come back in and everything's just relaxed, and he listens to the feedback you give him, and he'll tell you if you're wrong, but he'll also listen and go, okay, well, we'll try this and make some changes and it'll improve. And working with him, I think it's going to work really well because we have there's no stupid question sort of attitude. Okay, Lee, why do you think it's doing that? Or why are you doing this? Is there a way we can work around it? I'll ask him why he's doing something, why something a certain way. And it's an open environment. And especially, like you say, with the experience Robbie's got behind the TT course, there's been some names been put on his bikes, and, he's no slouch himself. Yeah, we can learn a thing or two from him, which I'm really proud to say I'll be riding for him this year.
So then, just thinking about pre-TT, it's really not very long away now. What's happening for you in between that time before you get over here?
I've got to get 2 motorcycles working.
And out of the house.
At the time of recording, we're T-minus 10 days. So Kevin Flynn's 350, we took to Aintree, which I've never been to before, which is honestly one of the best circuits I've never ridden. It's the closest thing to a road course you can get, apart from being a roads course. So it's so much fun. But took that 350 out, and that's had a brand new engine in it, and it runs brilliantly. There's just a few little tweaks we've got to do. And then the RLT Racing RS125, that bike, it's phenomenal. It's a little 125, and I'm 6'4". You've stood next to me, and I don't fit too well on these 125s. So I'm doing something to try and make it a little bit more comfortable, because when I get on the bike, I have to start it and then have somebody hold the clutch and lift my right leg up to put it on the footrest, and then my leg doesn't move for the whole race. So yeah, we have to sort those things out. But it's nothing major, just little tweaks here and there, just to make sure we're all singing or dancing.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? That physical side of it. And how were you physically after MGP?
Oh yeah, I was sore. I was sore. I think part of that was partying in Villa Marina afterwards. But no, it was my shoulders and my back more than anything. But being a tall lad trying to fit on these small bikes is only so much we can do. We try and make them as long and as big as we can for me. But the saving grace for me there was in the physio that they put on in Parc Ferme. I was in there every single day, and the lads and ladies in there were just absolutely brilliant. Like I said, they held me together. But I think one thing people do forget when they're racing the bikes on the Isle of Man is just to remember to silly little things like doing your stretching after you come off the bike. You know, when you get back in, just make sure you take 10 minutes just to stretch off and cool down and everything, because you're back at it again the next day. You know, some people won't do it, but I think if you want to have a good crack and do the best you can and not be sore and really achy, then I think that's important.
So you're stretching while you're listening to your music. You must be moving quite quickly there, Lee, if we see you in the paddock, you know, doing your thing.
No, my warm-up, my warm-up stretches beforehand are something to behold. But now it's because I've usually got the headphones in with the metal on afterwards with the drum and bass. I was lying on the floor thinking, God, what have I just been doing here? Just trying to stretch off. But now I'm not all that energetic after it, to be honest with you, because you've got all the endorphins and everything. Yeah, you've burnt all your energy and you're done. It's just beforehand when you're doing 10,000 steps waiting to get on the bike because you're pacing up and down the paddock like.
The thing I'm intrigued about pre-TT is how many cups of tea you're going to go through, because I know there was a little bit of a tally, wasn't there, over MGP?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we're doing the same again. We've got two coffee drinkers coming with us this year, so the air to tea ratio might be a little bit down. I don't get on too well people drink coffee. Let something percolate and build the flavour. But no, I'll keep another tally. We'll see what we're going to be on. I reckon we'll be. I mean, what we're there Thursday till Monday morning. We'll be between the four of us. We'll be over 100 brews. 100 brews between four of us, easy.
Did you say 25 a day?
I have 3 before I go to bed.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, all day, every day.
25 a day?
Yeah, like I said beforehand, like I never drink a hot cup of tea because with the ADHD and running around like a blue-ass fly, like it's usually gone cold to get halfway down.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you went 12 and a half, you know, that's probably close, but I make at least 25 cups of tea a day.
Are you the sort of person who'd microwave your tea if it gone cold?
No.
All right.
Heathen. I bet you put the milk in first as well, wouldn't you?
No, I don't anymore. I maybe used to, but that was a family thing. It wasn't my fault. Flipping heck, Lee. Oh, my goodness me. So, right, so we know where to come for tea, and I do need you to keep that tally, so we'll catch up with you at some point and see how many you had. Surely you're just going to the loo all the time, though.
Oh, 100%. I'm always going to the loo all the time. My wife laughs at me. Like, we go for a meal, and I've half a glass of water. I've got to go to the loo and then come back. I have another half glass. I've got to go to the loo and come back. Yeah, no, it's. I'm probably going to give myself an issue there, drinking all this tea all the time.
I feel like we're learning an awful lot about you, Lee. I mean, it's not all about bikes, clearly. Remind us where people can find you on social media if they want to keep up to date with how you're doing.
Yeah, sure. It's Lee Stanaway Racing on Facebook. We haven't got meant to do an Instagram or anything, but like after the podcast with you, I just want to say thank you to you as well for after the podcast and the stuff you put out for me on socials or whatever. There's been a lot more visitors to the page and people following and getting in touch or whatever, so that's really appreciated. So yeah, it's just Lee Stanaway Racing on Facebook and you'll get us on there. One thing I did want to say actually is big shout out to Storm Stacey for Northwest on the weekend. I was jumping up and down off the sofa watching that. Fair play, kid. You know, done a sterling job there.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, your Instagram page could all just be about tea, I guess, tea tips
100%.
with Lee Stanaway. Best of luck over the next sort of 10 days or so in the preparation, and we'll see you down at Billown.
100%. See you in a few weeks, Beth.
You're listening to Startline, brought to you by the Manx Motorcycle Club.
So, my name's George Anderson from a little town in Worcestershire in the UK. Racing-wise so far, mainly short circuits with the addition of a few roads this year. Did the Spring Cup at Scarborough the start of this month. That was incredibly wet. So, yeah, good overall, but would have preferred if it was dry. And then the pre-TT coming up next weekend, and 3:00 this morning got back from the Isle of Man racing over in Derby. So, yeah, bit of everything so far.
I know last time we spoke, you were hoping to have got into the MGP, and I know we heard afterwards that didn't happen this year. Is that still the plan ultimately, would you say?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, that's the ultimate goal. And I think, the addition of quite a few roads this year can only put me in better stead than I was this time last year. So yeah, that's still the goal. And actually just found out today the entry I put in for the Southern 100 has been accepted as well. So it's another meeting to get under a belt. So yeah, looking forward to it.
And I guess it's great coming over here and doing any road racing, certainly, down on the Billown circuit, but just sort of mentioning you were at Derby at the weekend and getting home at that time in the morning. How difficult is it for you to do all that sort of stuff and I guess, do normal life at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. I think racing in general, especially road racing, does consume your whole life, but you got to want it and love it enough. No, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I'd do it all again tomorrow.
Tell us about your pre-TT setup then. What are you going to be riding and how that's all working?
When I first started out racing 15 years ago-ish, I met a chap who lives in Ramsey and I raced against his son, Tom. And I met Neil, I think we were at Brands Hatch. We both raced 2-stroke 125s, me and Tom. And I sort of kept in touch with Neil over the years. And I know he's got quite a few classic bikes. And I know a lad from the Isle of Man rode one of those last year at the pre-TT. And I spoke to Neil and he said that wasn't going to be the case this year. So a bit of back and forth over a few months and we agreed he's going to build a bike and get one ready for me, which he has done. And that was obviously what we were over testing at the weekend at Derby, which actually went really well. So yeah, I'll be riding a little 400 Yamaha, a little bit smaller than what we used to, but no, it was really good weekend and good bike.
How did you find the whole setup at Derby and the sort of racing environment there?
It was good. I mean, I feel like for me coming over, it was aided by the weather. Good weather all weekend, but no, I thought it was a mega little track and the meeting was ran really well. I've raced with loads of different clubs and loads of different places, but no, it was ran like clockwork and I'd definitely come back.
And I guess the thing with coming over here and racing, and especially wanting to do more over here, is that you get to meet a lot of people who are involved in it here. And I don't know about your experience, but I know speaking to other people, they find this sort of generosity of people who are involved in racing on the island, like second to none almost, because they genuinely really want to help anybody who's involved in the sport.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, on Saturday morning, I was having a flick through the programme when you've got the people's hometowns and the only person in the whole programme that's not from the Isle of Man, but inundated with offers of when minor little issues are going wrong with the bike, oh, we can do this, we can do that. And yeah, everyone's just out to help you, which isn't overly common sometimes, dependent on the club, the meeting or the paddock. But yeah, couldn't believe everyone's generosity. Actually, I've got somebody who's offered to sort the tyres out for the pre-TT next week. I'll just bring them down and we'll fit them, we'll do this. And yeah, no, really good. Enjoyed it.
I know when we spoke last time, before you'd sort of found out about the Manx Grand Prix, I know you've done loads of laps over here. Do you know how many laps of the mountain course do you think you've done?
Yeah, nearing 100 now, if not just over. Yeah, a lot of weekends last year when a bit of free time on my hands, I'd think, well, if I go out here and do this, it's going to cost a few £100 there and £100 here. We might as well put that towards a ferry and be productive, learn something, sleep in the back, keep the cost down and drive round and round and round. So
obviously Billown Course, much shorter. How many laps of that do you reckon you've done?
Every time I came over before MGP entry or expression of interest, I'd always try to get down there and do at least one or two or three. So Neil's son, Tom, has competed at the pre-TT quite a few times now, I think. So he's really good. Took me down there on Saturday night once we'd finished the test day up at Derby. We went and did probably 10 or so laps. Got out, had a little walk round, made some notes, and yeah, really knowledgeable is Tom. So that was more than helpful.
Like you talk about taking notes, is that the sort of learner you are? Write it down, then read it back? Because some people do visualising and some people play the game and whatever. But yeah, I guess you've got to find the way that works for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have to write everything down generally anyway. Otherwise, I'd never remember. But no, if I feel like if I write it down when I read it again just once, then it makes sense as to what I've written. Probably might not make sense to anyone else reading my notes, but yeah, this will make sense to me. I think that helps massively.
And who's coming over with you for pre-TT?
So I spoke a little bit about Mike in the last episode we did, which was quite a while ago now. Yeah, my best friend Mike, he's coming over with me, and obviously Neil's going to be there with what is his bike. Yeah, if Neil's anything like he was this weekend at Derby, we'll have no trouble at all. Like clockwork, that man never stops all day long. If he's not running around the bike I was riding or Tom's bike, he's running around someone else's bike. So yeah, no worries there whatsoever.
Again, I know we spoke about this last time, but sponsorship and that sort of thing is obviously crucial, especially when you're doing more racing and just like the cost of everything when you think about fuel and whatever at the moment. How is that side of things?
Yeah, it's good actually. So I think we may have spoke about that on the back end of the last time we spoke. I started the 63 club. That's my number. 63 people, £63. It covers obviously a large proportion of our season. But yeah, no, since obviously entries have been getting accepted here and there, and people have sort of dug a little bit deeper. One of my good mates, George, Avon Scaffolding, sort of title sponsor for a few years now. As soon as pre-TT entry got accepted, he's like, "Oh, it's mega, really happy for you," and helped us out even more. So always forever grateful for the support you get off people.
That's the thing, isn't it? And, we say it all the time, but it doesn't have to mean hundreds of pounds or thousands of pounds, but anything actually does make a real difference.
Yeah, definitely. Just stupid things like you might get somewhere and snap a bolt and a foot peg and a handlebar and a lever, and they're not loads and loads of money to buy, but if you're doing it every other weekend throughout the year, it all mounts up. And yeah, I try not to add it all up at the end of the year, but any amount really does go a long way in this sport.
And then when you're coming over to pre-TT, you're the sort of rider who has a goal for a new event. Have you got something that you want to achieve, or are you just literally sort of like, first time out, see how it goes, see if you enjoy it, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, obviously weather dependent, fingers crossed, touch wood and everything crossed, it's nice and dry. That would be a good start. But goal-wise, I mean, I'm ever realistic, and I think that you'd be potentially, as a newcomer, a little bit daft to set goals without knowing where you're going. I think maybe first night of practice, qualifying or whatever, then you might be able to set a goal. But right now, qualify and finish the race. That's the only goal I have right now. But I'm sure those goalposts will move if I have the tiniest sniff of success. But yeah, we'll see.
And I suppose it's great doing pre-TT and then, like you mentioned, the Southern coming up, because that sort of gives you that head start, even though, again, technically you'll still be a newcomer at that event too.
Yeah, that was another reason why I was keen to get into the pre-TT. Obviously smaller bikes, and which is exactly what Neil said to me, learn to ride a small bike fast to ride the big bike faster. So yeah, if we can have a nice, safe run out the pre-TT and hopefully everything goes well, at least, would have done laps, not like some of the other meetings you turn up on. If people like me only have one bike, you've got to go as a newcomer on that bike. So it's really, really good to have the opportunity to do it on something, the same course on a bike that's a little bit smaller and a little bit more user-friendly, should we say. And
then, so after Southern, have you got other plans for other things that you're doing for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so in between the pre-TT and the Southern, probably carry on with the East Midlands Championship at Mallory Park. And I think there might be two Scarborough meetings in between the pre-TT and the Southern. They've also got Aberdare Park as well in Wales. So yeah, plenty of action.
Well, best of luck with everything for pre-TT. Where can people follow you, George, if they want to keep up with how you're doing?
Mainly, most of my updates and race reports and whatnot are on Facebook, George Anderson Racing.
George Anderson, and before that, Lee Stanaway. I'm still stuck on the tea thing, to be honest. I don't know how it's possible to drink that much tea in one day. Again, do follow both George and Lee on social media, and we'll be catching up with them at the pre-TT to see how it's all going. Thank you very much indeed for listening to this episode of Startline. Do take some time to find the riders on social media. Your support is very much appreciated. And if you'd like to get in touch with me and be part of the podcast in the future, you can email beth@startline.im. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.